this stuff on my website, hawkeyemarine.net. So if you guys want a can of this, go check it out. I'll ship it direct to your door. A lot of that stuff, it won't break carbon down. This stuff will. That's like Yamaha has their version of it too. I don't have any of that. Probably should look into getting that because it's good stuff too. Mercury, I don't know if they have a product, but these guys, it does work. It hasn't had that, what is it called, PEA or whatever. And that's what will break down carbon. That other stuff, if it doesn't have PEA, it won't break it down. So now the tolerance, I think, is going to be somewhere like 1/8 of an inch. So if we look at the top of this plunger is right even with the frame of the carburetor, right? So now whenever I take this and I turn it, we can see that it's at least like 1/8 of an inch, because it goes down to about right here. All right, next little thing is this guy brought me this little bitty motor. It's a pull rope. I really don't want to mess with it, but it is what it is. I took the plug out, which is completely fouled out. So I wonder if it even has spark. So I'm gonna get my spark checker out here. I replaced it like a Ruger standard drill, or otherwise it was just tight the flywheel nut. We don't want that. So I'm looking for spark right there. Yeah, we got spark. BUHW2. But this thing is so fouled out. Look at that. There's no way. So, I mean, these are good plugs. I like fired it up. I used my drill to do it. I just think he ran some really, really shitty gas. And the choke was messed up. So what happens if we take a little, where did I have it? It's peeing. Maybe not great, but it is peeing. I brought out some of that. Oh, it's right here. I like this engine tuner. I like kind of crank it up because they put that crappy gas that they had in there. So I'll crank it up and squirt this thing through and see how it does. Hopefully it cleans it up a little bit. Sitting at like 1 1/4 when I opened it up a little. It should be at like 1 1/2. Oh yeah, that'll clean her out of there. get the choke parts, probably not. That's good though. Let's just let her sit there and chew for a while. Unless Chucky needs to use his camera. You need to film? Sounds pretty good, little engine. For a single cylinder. You know it?
Oh yeah?
Yeah, you got a big piece of dirt right there. Right here. And a finger and eyeball. Alright, we're just waiting on parts to show up. Yeah, so this is a fuel problem. He put the wrong stuff in, man. You know. Little thing runs pretty good. I'm glad, because I didn't really want to keep pulling on a rope, you know. Yeah, it runs pretty good. I'm gonna have to send him an estimate to fix that choke. See how that goes. I gotta see what's involved there. Yeah, it stops just fine. Well, I guess you gotta hold it. It's hard to do with the. Alright, if you guys want to help out the channel or you're just looking for boat parts, go check out my website, hawkeyemarine.net. I've been adding stuff and been building it over last several years, and I've got just about, it's crazy. I've got a lot of stuff. It's chilly this morning. I hope that changes throughout the day, but I don't know. Hey, I got this little 20 horsepower 4-stroke Mercury, and you know, here's the deal. Like on a lot of this stuff, it's sorry, kind of bouncing around. These GoPros, they don't like they like it bright. So got this little 20 horsepower Mercury, and this guy left his gauge out here. I told him to get a gauge. Don't get a cheap one. He's got one of these. It's just like advanced. These are still good gauges. You know, like a lot of those other gauges, they're not great. I'm gonna put this back here. He was just showing it to me last night. I'm gonna put it back in there so it's not just getting dew all over it. Anyway, I'm drinking my coffee. It's a new week. It's November. We still got boats. All right, so with all these, you know, I try to gather as much information as I can. A lot of times, like, you know, you may get some misinformation, but it's better to have that as a gauge, just to try to figure out a bunch of different things. And I don't even know where all I got another bad hair day. But I just woke up this morning and I said, I'm going to work. I'm going to get this done. All right, so, you know, you want as much information as possible. I mean, I even want the information, like, if there's information to be gleaned, if you will, from, you know, somebody else that worked on it. You know, sometimes two heads are better than one, because, you know, it just is, you know, how do I say it any better and clearer than that? But it's best to, like, get as much information you can, whether it's bad information or good information, it doesn't matter, because one will help you maybe diagnose, you know, it'll lead you, you know, down the path. But we know there's certain basic things we need. We need, you know, in this talking about engines, it's kind of live too. But you know, we need air, and you know, we need some fire in our belly, and we need fire in the engine. But we also, for these engines, we need compression. You know, not sure as human beings we need compression. You know, maybe God sometimes squeezes us like a wine press. He talks about it. But I got this Mercury, and it's a little 4-stroke, so I have to look up what year. And I've got to get set up, so I'll get a tub and get some water over here. Anyway, the basically what he's saying is he doesn't have any power, right? So he says, like, with his remote, he pushes it to here, he's got about 8 miles an hour, like but then once he goes like this all the way down, he's still got 8 miles an hour. So either this thing is in a limp mode, because he says it's got good compression, like 130 pounds. And maybe I'll confirm this. I can tell if it's got compression or not once I get it to run. But he says it'll idle. And, but that's all it'll do. So, what do we do, man? How do you go about it? You know, just logically thinking. Okay, I got the tub out here, kind of just first checking things out. There's a few things. Number one, like, well, we want to check the oil. He says the oil level is good. He just changed the oil. We'll see, but it's a carburetor, so it's not fuel injected. Even though it's like a I think he said 2010. Just do any visual inspections. So, first thing I noticed is this is broken. You know, it's still working, still moving it back and forth, but this is like broken. And then this stop is kind of where that is, but we got this, you know, screw, and that kind of adjusts everything. So I think the first thing, since it's way down here, you don't have to take off. I think they made it this way so you didn't have to take off this pin here and then take that off. Anyway, but yeah, so carbureted. Is it the carburetor? We don't know. I could set it up and run it, but then I wanted to see if that would move any. So right here we're in neutral, and if we look back there and watch it, we want to see how that moves. So it does move. This would be wide open throttle, and are we wide open? I don't know. Kind of feels like it's got the stop that's here, and that just would stop this. But then is this wide open? I think we could just undo this and go back and forth and see where we're at. You also have this right here. This is like some kind of it's like a, see, this should, I think, push down on this, which gives you more fuel, or the proper fuel delivery. So this is a problem, but I believe this linkage is off. That's the first thing I noticed almost right away. I think that's probably the problem. Other things, like there's a couple of locations for fuses. I could get out my just test light. I could check for the fuses, make sure all the fuses are there. Guess we could check and make sure we got fire on both of these. And you know, we can do that easily by just, you know, pulling this, and if it drops or doesn't change, then that'll give us some information. But almost certainly, like right away, I see this is not, it's just not right. So, but we're in wide open throttle, so let's see what happens if I loosen this. See, it's under tension and it's going all the way back to here. So this should push this plunger. This has got to be the problem, I would think. I'm gonna have to look at some diagrams and get this figured out. But this rides against here. Let's just look and see. And that's pushing this down. But once it gets to here, it's out. So that's turning that. But then this should be very interesting. So he has the idlet there. That would be, this should be our idle, right? And then we go wide open throttle. Is this just a pressure valve? Because it's hooked up to water? I don't know. It's really not part of the carburetor. It's just part of the carburetor body, I believe. I'm gonna have to look this one up there, folks, because I don't know. Let's see what happens now. See, now that goes wide open. But this valve, so I'm wondering if this should be like, see, they just touch. I think I have this figured out. Alright, so this little enrichment valve, it's got, see how this is a plunger. So this is just a little stop, right? And since it has to swing this way and that way, they made it real wide. So this was way down, like right in this range. I marked it, but then if you look at this thing, see how it has a little mark there where you can take a screwdriver, hold it, and then you take this nut out. So now the tolerance, I think, is going to be somewhere like 1/8 of an inch. So if we look at the top of this, this plunger is right even with the frame of the carburetor, right? So now whenever I take this and I turn it, we can see that it's at least like 1/8 of an inch, because it goes down to about right here. I don't know if I'll go in and try to find my little metal ruler and show you guys, but it's all the way to there. So that's got to be at least 1/8. So we can see before it wasn't pushing the plunger down. Now the only thing I don't know is like it pushed too much down. We'll find out, because you know, but I think that pushes that down even more. Okay, and you know, you would have to adjust this by your idle circuit. So right now this seems to be good. I don't want to really mess with this because I think he said that the idle does work fine, but it's this. Yeah, we opened the butterfly, but this has got a, I'm thinking it's like causes the Venturi to pull up more fuel. So it was probably only getting so much fuel. And we're gonna see, I don't know, we're gonna see where this takes us. I think we'll get it fired up real quick. And all right, let me show you guys this. He has a fuel tank, but he's missing the vent valve. He says it's down in here somewhere. Make sure you got a good cap with a vent valve, because like this morning we had dew up on here. You know, it's that time of year. We're gonna get a hard frost, and you know, that's just pulling from the atmosphere. So you're gonna get water in your fuel, is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm gonna look for a different connector because I don't think this is right. Huh. Yeah, I don't think we're getting fuel yet. Alright, well, the plugs totally fouled out. And go inside, stick them on my thing, but I bet you they're not even fired. NGK DCP R6EIX. Alright, the number 1 looks pretty good. So now I'm going to get out my spark checker because I'm thinking the number 2 is not firing. Alright, well, Mom went to Canada and she got me this hat, so maybe I can cover up the bad hair. I've got a spark checker. I don't need this big long one, but I guess that's fine. Find some place to put it. Maybe, I don't know. See, that's the thing about this stuff, man. You just gotta like try to follow the path. Try to follow the process. See your first visually. If you see something visually, like, then it'll lead you to the next thing. So that carburetor plunger did need to be adjusted. Was it a problem? No. So then we try to get fuel to go into it. I am using his tank, but I believe there to be fuel because I see it in our filter, which may need to be changed, may not, but it's getting to the carburetor now. It should be. Is the carburetor bad? I don't think so. I took the plugs out. I found that the bottom plug, the number 2, was fouled. It was very, very oily. So, you need to figure out why. Was it no spark? So I got a spark checker out here. Now in this particular model, to do like our remote start so I can look at this thing and have you guys look at it, then I need to be able to do that. They have this style of solenoid that you have basically a bullet connector that you got to plug into. So somebody's definitely, you know, been in here, because this is kind of in the wrong location. Believe it though. So now if I take just kind of stick this on, hopefully it doesn't fall off, and I turn the key to start, then that should light up. You guys, I always got to remember like to get the shots. Like you probably saw nothing I just did, but this red line right here is hot. So I believe on our solenoid, our green line is our signal, and I won't have anything here obviously, so I'd have to go like into this green right here, and I believe this will be our signal line. And once I know that, then I can hook up my remote start. And that's correct. So now what I gotta do is just use my little homemade, and now I'll be able to do a remote start. So luckily these have these nice big connectors, and I'll just put it on there like so. Hook the other end over to my battery positive. So I'm looking for spark on this one and this one. Yeah, I think that's a good spark. So why do we have a foul plug? Okay, give me a minute. Think about this. Let's see if we got spark. I didn't clean them at all. You can see that one looks brown, normal. This one looks totally fouled. So let's see if it even. Yeah, they're both fine, but the one is really super. You know, I think you need to clean a carburetor, or maybe that enrichment valve had it all screwed up. Let me clean these and throw them back in. Yeah, I want to be in a hurry, but at the same time, I don't want it to be like a rush job. So, you think about this stuff. See, I mean, it does look like a brand new plug, and he told me he gapped them, so I certainly believe in the one, the brown one, it looks fine. Both of them, you know, really are not bad, even though it looked a little fouled. I did, like I said, I took it in there and you can see that, you know, like it's got enough soot or whatever. Yeah. So basically I can't really see very well. I got this light. I don't know where my other one went. But yeah, you can see it's like way up in there. You gotta have one of these flexies or, you know, cross thread it. Make for a bad day. These little edges, man, you can't get your meat hooks in there. This one's not near as bad as the other ones. Some of them, man, I guess people complain. They were like, man, you didn't give us any room for put the spark plugs in. I don't have a good connection because I'm using this, but there we go. Running, shaking. It's another half a turn. It's better. Just let it settle. Oh yeah, it's gotta go another half a turn. He has a little, get some weed eater line or something poke through there. I think it's got to go a little bit more. Maybe a quarter turn. Okay, so let that warm up, and then I'll get some of that engine tune and I'll throw that in there. It's starting to pick up now. Well, let it go. It's a little high idle, maybe. I got this engine tune. Johnson Engineered engine tune. I got this stuff on my website, hawkeyemarine.net. So if you guys want a can of this, go check it out. I'll ship it direct to your door. That kind of weird thing. And then it wasn't being very good, but I just took a piece of weed eater line and got it in there. I want to check the temperature. probably sounds better. This stuff helps, man. It's a carbon. You get like seafoam, it won't break carbon down. A lot of that stuff, it won't break carbon down. This stuff will. That's like Yamaha has their version of it too. I don't have any of that. Probably should look into getting that because it's good stuff too. Mercury, I don't know if they have a product, but these guys, it does work. It has to have that, what is it called, PEA or whatever, and that's what will break down carbon. That other stuff, if it doesn't have PEA, it won't break it down. That's all I need. That's all you need. So, what do I think about this? I think, like, because the way that enricher valve, maybe that's what was limiting his power. It's really hard to say. It runs great in the driveway, in the tub. I think maybe because he watches the channel and stuff, and maybe I'm gonna have him go run it again, because now that I discovered that, let's see if that made a difference. So I didn't probably have my camera on, but now that I've done that and it got the enricher valve working, maybe I should have it come run it and then see how it does, and kind of go from there. That's just my thing bouncing. Whoa! She's pretty hot now. We'll probably back her down, baby hair. Maybe do another half turn. If you have it too high idle, when you put it in gear, it'll die on you. So that's probably not bad. On the water, it's gonna be a little different. That's probably good right there. These things run a little hotter than, some. See what our water temperature is, 69 degrees. Yeah, that's not bad. It's been running for a while, so obviously it exhausts through. I would put it in gear. I may do that. I may, like, later put my big tub and then I can put it in gear and see how it does, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was, man. This just was not depressing, allowing the fuel to come through. Anyway, that's my diagnosis for now. I'm gonna have him come out and take it, run it, and then if I have to, I'll work on it some more. I have him bring it back, I guess, but I'm gonna have him go test it and then bring it back to me. Okay, check this out. This is this carburetor off this 20 horsepower. So you can see, like, there's the, so we're looking at this bowl, and here is this plunger, this enricher valve, and you can see where here's an input, and that's just coming from a breather valve. See if I can get you in here. Yeah, see, there's a little better picture. If we look at number 30, and way down here, this is the plunger. So I imagine it's rubber, like sometimes you want to replace that. And then if we look over here, we've got, we've got this fuel line down here. It's fuel filter, fuel line, fuel pump, out the fuel pump. We're going to follow, it's going to come up into this bottom of this bowl. And then you can see this line is most likely the input side to that breather tube, number 28. And so we got 27 is coming, and then we got this 10 that's the top. And but if we look at 28 and 27 down here, you'll see that it's a breather hose. And then they got this hose, 200 millimeter. This is off a marine engine. So this is an enricher valve for this 20 horsepower, 2-cylinder, 4-stroke. Thanks for watching all the way through. You're part of our awesome community. Love this video? Hit subscribe for more adventures. The best way to support us is at HawkeyeMarine.net. Shop outboard powerheads, lower units, and top quality boat parts. It fuels our content and keeps you on the water. Visit today. We'll see you next time.